Just found the one you want to spend your whole life with? Thinking of whether to get married or not? Or already married and want to rekindle the flame? Well, that's great, because we can help you. Here, we, Dwayne and Angel Merritt, have been together for 20 years and have been through a lot of life experiences with each other. Come and meet us live on Facebook at Marriage Matters with the Merritts every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Or you can listen to us on Sound C, Loud, or iTunes too. We will be happy to help you take your first steps towards a beautiful married life. We will be sharing our experiences and talking about everything that matters to your marriage, offering a retreat for couples who want to improve or repair their relationship, but don't know how to. So every Thursday, 9 p.m., tune up your marriage by tuning in to our Marriage Matters podcast. Don't forget, it's every Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. See you soon.
Hey, what's up, everybody? We back with another episode of Marriage Matters with the Merritts.
Episode number 6.
Number 6, we back. I am Dwayne Merritt. And
I'm Angel Merritt.
This is Angel Merritt, my lovely wife, and we are the people who are here to talk a little bit about Marriage Matters. How you doing, Lady A?
Wonderful.
Good. As many of you have seen, tonight we'll be talking about a topic that is very dear to us called How did we get here? How did we get here? And let's tell a little bit about how this came about, and then we'll jump right into it. But wait, before that, first we want to say thank you for joining us. We want to say thank you for the donations that you all gave and all of that good stuff. Many of you may not know it, but we had somebody watch this show and ask could they donate
microphones.
They know that our vision is to have 4 or 5 mics set up so that we can have some guests on, and someone purchased us two sets of microphones. Yeah. So thank you. Yes. We appreciate that. And many people have been calling us. If you want to make donations, you definitely can. marriagemattersteam@gmail.com. Someone actually called us and asked, could they design our clothes?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Design it and send it, and we will rock it. All right, so let's talk about this topic, Lady A. What did you have to say?
So how it came up, my sister called me, Kim, the other day, and she said, she was like, have you watched Blackish lately?
Yeah.
So all of you know Anthony Anderson.
Yep.
Right? And is it Tracy Ross?
Ellis Ross.
Yeah, Tracy Ellis Ross. Yep. Diana Ross' daughter is what I call her.
Right. So the show Blackish. So she called me and she said, man, she was like, it's really sad. She said her son was watching it, and he said, Mom, you got to watch this show. And he's only in like 6th grade. Yeah. So he thought it was important for his mother to watch the show. So she said she sat down and watched it, and basically the last 3 episodes, it was just showing like problems that marriages have at the point that he actually moved out the house.
Yeah.
Now, this show normally is more, it shows how loving they are, how much they love each other.
Right.
And it kind of it kind of changed.
Yeah.
So
it took a turn.
It took a turn.
Kind of a dramatic turn for that type of show.
But when I was watching it, I'm like, wow, like all the things that were happening is stuff that all of us, you go through all the time. And it was at one point in the show, they looked at each other and they said, how did we get here?
And let me say this while you're saying that. It was so profound to me because we've all in relationships. Now, this is just not for married people. This is for people who are in any type of relationships. We all get to a place and we ask that question, how did we get here? Matter of fact, just Tuesday night, we were talking in church, and or was it Sunday? It was one day, and we were saying, do you ever wake up and just ask, how did you get here? And it's crazy because in relationships, it does not matter if you having issues or you're not having issues. If you're not careful, you can find yourself so far gone in a place that you don't understand. And this is what I always like to say. Don't be so busy trying to make a life that you forget to live the life that you have.
Amen.
Because sometimes we're so focused on where we're going, we don't enjoy where we are. And that's dangerous in the relationship.
So let's answer that question. Y'all can chime in if you have questions, or if you want to just chime in on how did we get here?
How did we get here?
If you've been through this situation where, because everybody starts off with that puppy dog love.
Yeah.
We just love each other so much.
Oh, Jesus.
But this is what was so good about the show. If you have not watched this Blackish episode,
You
go
gotta
back,
go back,
watch
man.
the last three episodes.
The last three. Absolutely.
But it kind of showed how they went from being so loving and knowing everything about each other, and then how, the issues they were having right now today.
Now, do you think, because we talk about this all the time, how much of that ties into how you grow? Do you think sometimes when we get together, we don't realize that we continue to grow?
Yeah, I think I think a big part of it is you get comfortable.
Yeah.
I read an article today, and what it said was so profound to me. It said, because some people say, our relationship is just boring. It's just the flame is gone, this and that. And the thing is, what this article said is, you're not bored, you're boring.
Wow.
So sometimes you get bored because you start doing the same routine. You start doing, you're not doing anything, you're looking for that person to bring the spark. But sometimes you have to help.
You got to do it.
Right. You have to ignite the flame or keep it going. The same thing you did when you got her. You hear people say that you have to do to keep her.
You got to do to keep her. Vice versa. And I think a lot of times what we try sometimes. And I'm going to speak from a man perspective.
That man perspective.
Because we don't change, or we don't like to change that much, because everybody that we talk to, and everybody that we just having casual conversation, we want to have a situation where we are solid in what we do. Like, we want to get it to a point where it's tight. We don't want to mess with it. We don't want to rock the boat. But that's the beginning of the end, because relationships change daily. Now, people change at separate rates. We always say this, and we teach this. Most women change, and y'all don't have to agree with this. Most women change at a rapid pace. I believe they mature faster than me, and they change.
I'm happy you admitting this. Come on. Keep it going.
But men don't change as often, but we make bigger changes.
That's true.
So a man, when he changes, he go from the drug house to the church house. Women, when they change, I think it's a little different. So we talked about that. Now, this is the thing, Lady. What happens when you continue to change in your relationship? Because you'll be a different woman next year than what you are this year. So we had problems in our relationship because I didn't know that. I didn't know you change so often. What you like today, you didn't like next month.
But I mean, that's why conversation is so important. And and even I had read another article, and it was talking about how even within your careers. So, for example, I think I kind of have a boring career, and then you have, like what you were doing probably was a little bit more exciting. But because it's so different when people come home, then they don't have those conversations. I think every aspect of your life, you have to kind of go live it together.
Yeah, you got to live it together.
So
absolutely.
Even when you would talk about climbing poles and all this stuff you had to do for work.
AT&T, what's up?
I had to
got laid off though.
Even though I didn't do that, I still had to engage you and still, ask you, well, how was your day? Well, tell me, well, how do you do that? Like still show some interest in what you do. Just like I know you don't care about numbers. I don't. But you still engage me, and you'll say, well, how was your day at work today?
Absolutely.
Or how did this, did this person get on your nerves? Or, whatever. So you still have to just every part of your spouse's life has to be important to you.
Absolutely. Now, that's a good point, because like she said, I don't care about numbers. So when I'm asking her how her day was, I'm really asking her how she's doing in her own language. Now, I didn't always know that.
And not only that, though, how I take, even when you ask me that, how I take it is he's interested in me. He's concerned about, even though I know he doesn't necessarily care about the aspects of my job, but I felt that you cared about me enough that you wanted to know how my job is impacting me.
Absolutely. Cool points. Somebody give me some cool points out there. Give me them cool points. Now, I didn't always know that, but that's one of the things how we kept it interesting. So if you out there writing down, it's key to engage your spouse, especially you preachers, especially you. If you're a preacher or you're in corporate America, whatever you are, we have to care about the things of each other.
Now, back when we were having issues in our marriage, and I always say maybe it was like the first 5 years was kind of rocky.
Yes.
And I remember I used to feel like you didn't care.
Yeah,
like I used to be like, man, he don't even ask me how my day was, or he didn't.
Well, I didn't care about numbers.
And then, but at the same time, remember you used to always, when we finally had like a real conversation, and you was like, I always thought you was gonna leave me for some nerd dude that that's
that
in
that can speak your language,
right? So I think it's part of an intimidation too.
It definitely
that
is.
Maybe because you didn't understand what I do at work, you thought
I was intimidated by that,
right?
And it can be the same thing even for the church, or it could be the same thing for what I do. Like if you don't understand,
right? Because I used to be like, how many girls climbing them poles? Used to be like, they all look like men.
No, man, no. Listen, so let's jump into this. It says, what is the nature of falling out of love and growing apart? Because that's what we're dealing with today. Let's just be honest, fam. There was a point in your relationship where you felt like it wasn't as fruitful as it once was.
Right.
Right? Now listen to this. Falling out of love involves, and I don't even like the term falling out of love, because when I say that, people think puppy love, but that's not marriage, because sometimes I'm irritated with Lady A. She irritates. Sometimes
he thought he had cool pet points. He just lost them.
Yeah, let me retract that thought. I am never irritated with Lady A. But sometimes, man, listen, we're irritated with each other. We don't have that puppy dog feeling. It's like, you go your way, I'm gonna go my way. But it don't change the fact that I do love her and I'm committed to her. Now watch this. Falling out of love or getting so far drawn apart involves a gradual losing of pair bonding energies. Focus on your partner and reinvestment of these energies elsewhere. So in other words, when I feel like I don't even want to be by my wife, that means that something else is getting my time. Mm-hmm. You may not know it, you may not think it, but my concern is somewhere else. How many people have been concerned about work, and then you come home, your family suffer, and you love them the same way, but they like, man, you gotta do something. That's because the energy is being drawn away,
right? And
it's being put on.
But even on Blackish, they kept saying this throughout the show. You have to choose each other.
You got to choose each other.
And I thought that was so key. That sometimes we choose everything else.
Yeah.
Sometimes people choose, making money. People choose their children.
Yep.
They choose all these things, but they're not choosing their spouse.
Yeah, you gotta choose your spouse. And that was one thing that they said. And I want to say this. Everybody, remember this. You got to choose your spouse every day. Mm-hmm. Every day you got to choose your spouse. So every day when you wake up, you have to choose your spouse. Now listen to these statistics. Every 38 seconds, someone gets a divorce. Every 38 seconds. Mm-hmm. That means by the time we finish this show, there's going to be a whole lot of divorces. Every hour, 94 people get a divorce. Every day, 2,000 people are getting divorced. Every week, 15,000 people are getting a divorce. And every year, 800,000 people are getting a divorce. Those are staggering numbers. Mm-hmm. Staggering. Those are staggering numbers. Now, and it's not always because someone cheated or someone had this issue of infidelity. Sometimes it's because we failed to choose each other trying to build a better life.
Right. Do you think that it's really possible for people to just grow apart? You just hear that all the time.
We grew apart. We don't have nothing in common.
Or people say, we still love each other. We just grew apart.
I believe you can do that if you don't practice growing together. Mm-hmm. I believe you can grow apart if your main priority is not practicing growing together. That's when we get into the work wives, the work husbands, and all that, because you tend to want to be with someone who has an interest in whatever it is that you're doing, that commonality.
It doesn't just happen. Growing apart is a result of choices that we make.
Absolutely,
that's what it comes down to. And I think sometimes it happens from being bored.
Come on, talk about it.
And I think that's why people, when they end up having affairs, because sometimes, you're looking for that exciting new thing.
Yeah, come on.
And then that's when you see people who, they have affairs.
Yep.
And then they end up leaving the person they're married to. Uh-huh. They'll marry the person they were having an affair with, and then guess what happened? The same thing.
Absolutely, because I think one of the big issues is that we don't understand that we are a big part of the problem and the solution.
Right.
We always point fingers. It's your fault. It's your fault. And I think that we are a big part. Now listen.
Then you get to that point, you just don't care.
You don't care no more. Right.
People, you ever notice? I mean, couples still have the same arguments. Like y'all arguing about the same thing. It's just a routine. You get up, you get dressed, you take the kids to school, you take the kids to sports, you go to work. You know, the same routine over and over
again.
Then y'all had the same arguments about money. You had the same arguments about. I mean, every aspect of your life is just the same thing every single day.
Every single day, right?
So sometimes you have to switch it up.
Yep. Now listen, this was a powerful point that in that Blackish that we were watching. Mm-hmm. Listen to this. At the end, well, not necessarily at the end, but what the parents were going through growing apart was affecting the kids. Mm-hmm. And I always say this, and I think we got to understand this, that one of the young ladies in that particular that show, she was going through some things. I'm sorry, I'm a little under the weather, y'all. She was going through some things with her. Thank you. She was going through some things with her boyfriend. And the mother was looking at her, and the mother was saying, man, how is she going through this? Her daddy treats her well. Why is she putting up with what she's putting up with? But the mother didn't realize that she was imitating what she saw in the home. Mm-hmm. Most people think that most men will treat their daughters like queens.
Right.
And think that she will go out and get a man equivalent to what the father treated the daughter. That's not it. 9 times out of 10, they are drawn to how the man treats the wife.
That's what they think is normal.
Absolutely. So you can't love your daughter, disrespect your wife, and think that because you're loving your daughter going to go out and get a man that respect her.
Right.
She going to go out and get a man that treats, you know what I'm saying? She's going to be attracted to that. So I always say this, one thing that you want to do is make sure you treat your wife like queen. So when I saw that in Blackish, because the mother was looking, she like, why are you putting up with this? Well, you were putting up with it. And it wasn't even her fault. I just wanted to bring that out as a point. You got me?
But you know, it's funny because a couple weeks ago, I had asked all of our daughters, we were just riding in the car, and I said, who want to get married? So they all said,
it's like me.
I want to get married one day.
Come on.
And I said, well, what kind of man do you want to marry? And they all said, we want to marry somebody just like Daddy.
Come on, talk about it.
And
say it again.
So I asked them why. Because people think that kids don't pay attention.
Say that story again.
I'm not saying that.
Okay,
again.
All right.
So, but people, they do think, they don't realize that kids, and our kids, we have 10-year-old twins.
Yes, we do.
A 7-year-old.
Yep.
And then a 2-year-old. She don't count. I wasn't having this conversation with her.
Yeah.
But the 7-year-old.
Please don't talk to her about it.
And the 10-year-old. 10-year-olds, they all said they want to marry somebody just like their father.
Wow,
I'm
blown away.
When I asked them why, and they said because we see how he treats you, and he's fun, and he, of course, he's the fun parent. So,
oh yeah, there you go.
But my point is just that kids do pay attention.
Absolutely. Now we're talking about growing apart. Now, Dante asked a question, how do you switch up when the other person is used to the past relationship? Everything is, I believe, is a conversation first, and then it's what we call in marriage counseling, building in good habits. So how do you switch up when the other person, you got to realize every new relationship got to be a new relationship. Because you don't want to go in a new relationship and date old people. But
that's the biggest problem that we see, even in marriage counseling.
Absolutely.
Is that people say, well, because, what's a good name I can use? What was that? Reggie.
I know what you're talking about. No,
I can't remember the name they used.
Ray something.
Reggie always did this, so this is why I react this way. But the thing is why are you with this person? Like, don't bring your ex into this relationship.
Yep.
This is a new person, so it's not fair. Like, how would you have to put yourself in the other person's shoes too?
Absolutely.
Because how would you feel if you were judged based off of what
somebody else did?
What the other person did?
Yeah, and I ain't even did that. So listen to this, y'all. So this is our point. At some time, we all grow apart. Even me and my wife right here, we've grown apart plenty of times. And it takes effort. It takes effort to keep that thing fire. But once you get it down and you understand, it's not that we're not meant to be. A lot of times we'll throw the relationship away because we don't even really believe that that's where we're supposed to be. So anything that go bad, we be like, maybe this is God telling me that, all that foolish stuff.
People get to that. You never want to get to the point where you just don't care.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even in Blackish, it was like they was arguing and over and the stuff was so stupid though. Stuff. And that's how it always starts. It's them little things that end up exploding into something big.
Especially when you got women that don't want to talk about stuff when it happened. Hello, somebody.
What?
You know what I'm talking about.
I don't.
Women don't want to talk about it.
What do you mean?
How do you suggest having the conversation when that's not the norm? Tiffany said, how do you suggest having the conversation when that's not the norm? What do you think about new normals?
Yeah, you got it. Because even for us, it wasn't normal.
It wasn't normal for us. But
how do you get there?
You have to set it.
I think just in our, of course, everybody different. But I'll say in our situation, we got to that breaking point where it just was like, look,
do or die.
Are we going to do this? Or why are we in this? And it's a two-person thing. I mean, it's not, it can't be one-sided. Both people have to, back to what we said, both people have to be willing to choose each other.
Absolutely.
And we had to sit down and have a real conversation and say, what are we doing? Yep. Are we going to really do everything in our power to make our marriage work?
Yep.
And that's when we put it all on the table.
Absolutely.
So it's not normal, but if both people are willing to put forth the effort, you can do it.
Absolutely. Now listen to this. Let's go into a few reasons or a few reasons why you can have separation in your relationship. Now, this is not just for people that's having problems. This is for people that's good.
Good, yeah.
This ain't about problems. This is not just about for people who don't go to church or who don't serve in the church. This is for everybody. Remember, the divorce rate in the church is almost higher than what it is for people that's not in church.
Because you have to recognize when you're getting to that point. When you're getting to that very comfortable state, then that's when you know you got to switch it up. Because we get there because we're so busy and we're you're
just busy.
Taking the kids here, doing this, doing that, and I know that I can recognize when we get there, and that's when I say we just need to go away for the weekend.
We need to get away.
Like it just takes you just recognizing when these things happen on both sides. Because sometimes I might notice it before him.
Yep.
Sometimes he might notice it before me.
Yeah.
But the important part is that somebody
got to notice it.
And somebody's willing to speak up and say, hey, even if we don't have no money to do anything big, if we just need to get rid of the kids for a weekend just so we can hang out.
Absolutely. Now listen to this. Listen to this. It does not mean that you have an issue. It means that you're living life. So we got another question here. It says, what are examples of changing it up? Going out of town spontaneously. Mm-hmm. That's one. You don't have to go to Hawaii or Acapulco. Take a drive to the next town and stay in a hotel and get out your norm. Norms kill you.
Changing it up is anything outside the ordinary. Anything. So like if you normally are a type of person, woman who don't, real laid back, mm-hmm. You might wear jogging suits and gym shoes every day. One day, put on your best dress. Put on some heels. Get your lingerie.
Come on. Oh, you preaching now.
Do something different. Like, just do something that's shocking that he would not expect you to do. And for men, now you can speak for the men.
For the men, changing it up is kind of going against your norm because we get into a normal practice of things. We're protectors. We're looking forward. We're going. But the normal thing is that sometimes, you know what? I may not feel like it, but this is what we're going to do this weekend. I'm going to surprise you and do something that I normally wouldn't do. I'm going to drive you to Chicago, and we just going to shoot down there. We're not going to listen to music. We're going to talk. We're going to eat and come home. Mm-hmm. It could be anything. Or it could be, I'm going to take you to your favorite restaurant this week without you knowing.
And what we have to do from that, we still have to show appreciation. Even if it wouldn't have been, like, for example, y'all see my shirt today.
Come on, talk about that shirt.
Everybody know I'll wear a Wonder Woman shirt.
Yep.
Right? That's my thing. Like, ever since I had brain surgery, I got a Wonder Woman bracelet. One of my dance moms bought for me. I got Wonder Woman socks. Everything in my house is Wonder Woman. Yeah. So my husband, I'm telling y'all how I showed appreciation. So I come home
today. Go ahead, because I'm going to bust your bubble wide open.
He like, baby, I bought you a shirt to wear today.
Yes, I did.
So I'm like,
I switched it up.
I was like, I don't see it. It was on the bed, but I'm like, I don't see it. What are you talking about? He was like, you don't see that shirt? And I was like, that shirt? For one, now, the funny thing is, We just had a conversation. This is Deadpool, and this is
That's Deadpool.
We
That's
just
right.
had a conversation. I said this is the only Marvel movie that I don't like. So it ain't even like it's somebody. This the only movie I've never been able to watch all the way through. But it's funny. But that's the shirt he bought me, right? But I'm like, okay, he making an effort. He tried.
I tried.
He tried
bro.
it. You know. And I'm showing I still wore it.
She did.
And
now
go ahead.
In the past, she would have been like, I ain't wearing that. And I'd have been like, you know what? We ain't doing no podcast. Because you tripping. And you ain't know what a podcast was until I brought it to y'all. See how them arguments start? But what happened was, now through this so much, now she understands that. And I told her, I said, well, they didn't have no Wonder Woman shirts. And I wanted to get you something. See, it's not about what I get you. It's the fact that I thought about you. Come on, somebody. Help me out in here.
And you said it was Marvel, but Wonder Woman is DC Comics.
Yeah. Whatever.
I'm just
whatever.
saying.
Now, so growing apart is normal if you don't, the everyday life. Don't be so busy trying to make a living that you forget to live. Now, let me give you, you got something there?
We have to make it more interesting. What we forget is that life is full of opportunities.
Absolutely.
Full of them. Different things we can do, and we need to take advantage of them. And especially if you're a person out there with any kind of sickness, illness, your spouse, if you've been through anything, which probably 99% of the people watching, you've been through something. And life is too short. Life is too short. So take advantage of every opportunity that you have. Live a little.
Yeah. Let me say this, and then I'm gonna jump in here. I did this Sunday. Most people know about my wife and some of the issues that she went through with my daughter with brain surgery. We could have lost her last year. And I say, every time I look at her, I see this bracelet right here. And people be like, where you get that bracelet from? That's nice. This is a medical alert bracelet. This means that if something was to happen to her and she couldn't talk, it has her surgery date, things that she's allergic to, and all of that. This taught me that every moment was very valuable. So when we say switch it up, it's doing anything to switch it up. It don't have to cost a lot. Listen, y'all, we date. We don't spend a lot of money, but we just do different things. We found out we had to do that. Now, you going to help me with these points?
Let's do it.
All right. So listen, reasons that people grow apart. Now watch this. It does not mean that your relationship is bad. It means you're normal, because we do it. Number one, you've gone on autopilot. People become complacent, not only with each other, but in their lives. When you're not when you're not going to work and coming home with news from your day, it becomes more of a challenge to find conversation topics too often. People forget to find new interests to replace old ones. So a professor of sociology at the University of Washington states this, and he says that one of the greatest conversational pieces that you have is what you did at work and what you learned at work.
Yeah.
If we have that conversation, because work is always different. Sometimes you want to jump off the cliff, and sometimes you have a great day. If we can base that, we can see how our spouse is growing by those answers.
Yep.
What you think?
Yeah. Even how often do you just go have lunch with your spouse? How often do you?
I wish I had a church.
It's just a little thing.
It's the small things.
Or even, sometimes during the weekend, even if you're tired, hey, let's just go out to dinner as a family, or let's catch a movie. It's just the smallest things. Let's go to Walmart together.
Yeah, let's take a trip.
Sometimes it's just being together and creating new memories, new experiences.
Yep. So autopilot. Listen to me. Do not go on autopilot in your relationship. Do not take it for granted, because one day you can wake up. Let me tell this real quick, and then we'll get, because we only got about 4 of these, and then we'll be done. I know we're going over, but we're gonna get off Facebook in a minute. But listen, my wife was perfectly fine, and one day last February, she woke up with stroke-like symptoms, and we found out she had a brain disease her entire life that just began to act up. And within that next year, she had brain surgery. Every moment is important. So on autopilot, we just working, putting up money, paying bills, working. And I know people that say, I'm not doing nothing until I can get a certain amount. Mm-hmm. You don't even know if you're going to make it there. So don't go on autopilot in your relationship.
Because then, I mean, and it's a lot of people out there who are workaholics.
Yep.
And, you know, they're saying, because I want to give my husband or my wife all these things.
Yep.
And you have to remember, tomorrow's
Tomorrow
not
not
promised
promised to nobody.
So how would you feel knowing that your spouse that you're trying to create this life for, they get hit by a car or anything, they can wake up with a brain disease.
Final destination is.
And you never had, so you missed out on all these years where you could have been spending time with that person or doing for that person or whatever, the smaller things. And now they're gone.
Yep.
And so now you have to live the rest of your life saying, man, I never got a chance to do anything for this person.
Absolutely.
Because my whole life I've been working, trying to obtain enough to do for this person.
Absolutely. Reason number 2, relationships grow apart. You lost common interests. While spending time apart and pursuing your passion is important, you also don't want to start leading completely separate and independent lives. This can happen when kids are out of the picture. You ever, and the cure to that is finding something you both like to do. You ever saw couples that been together for many years, 20, 30 years? Mm-hmm. The kids become grown and then they get a divorce.
Yep.
That's because they built lives. They co-parented, really. They built lives separately, different passions, and the kids is what they had in common. And then when the kids leave, you find out you don't have anything in common. Mm-hmm. So the cure to that is, what do you think the cure to that is, Lady A?
You have to find something in common.
Start
an activity, do something that together.
Yep. Absolutely.
Growing apart doesn't just happen. We allow that to happen. So it's up to you to stop that from happening.
Yep. Reason number 3, we grow apart. Your sexual chemistry has faded. I wish I had a church.
Well, I mean, from a woman's perspective, a lot of women, what happens is after you have children, after your body start changing, or you're gaining weight, you know, whatever it is. Now you got stretch marks you never had before. So then, because of how you feel and you lose confidence, you think that's how your mate looks at you.
And they don't. I mean, that's the bottom. That's what I can say. They don't.
In most cases, they
don't. But let me say this. Sometimes, sexual tension is high at the beginning of a relationship. Mm-hmm. You're getting it in everywhere. Top of the refrigerator, top of the house, wherever. My point.
Top of the refrigerator?
Top of the refrigerator, top of the house. Wherever you can.
I don't know about that.
Now, watch this, y'all. When this is a known fact. When sexual tension is high, it knocks the edge off of little things that you normally wouldn't.
Right, because that's why in new relationships, when new people when they first start dating, right, and they having all this rabbit sex, right, and the person is the same. Bang, bang, bang. The person is the same, but if you notice, and I mean I don't know for men too, but I say for females, they'll accept more things if they think the sex is good. Put it that way. They're more willing. They're more willing to accept it. So then, after they get married, and I'm saying this because we talk about this stuff in marriage counseling.
Absolutely.
And the first thing I'll ask was, did he do that before? Like, I mean, as far as like, let's say something like snoring. Like, it just drives me crazy because he's snoring, and I'm like, well,
I'm sick of it.
Did he just start snoring when y'all got married? No, but I could tolerate it before. Why? What changed? It's because you thought the sex was so good and it was a thrill, you were willing to deal with it. But now, after you're married, you're not willing to deal with those same things anymore.
Right. And look, this is psychological stuff. Like, this is a psychologist who actually did this study. And he had a couple tell him, and this was so funny when I was reading. She said, I can't stand the way he eat his food. He smacked. I can't stand it. And the dude said, well, did he always eat like that? She said, I don't know. He said, why you didn't know? And come to find out, because the sexual tension was so high, they said that when the sexual chemistry is so high, it knocks the edge off of the small things. But it's the small things that ruin the relationship and push you away. That's why you got to make sure that you rekindle that fire. Throw some new wood on that fire. I wish I had somebody to help me out. Do something you ain't never did before. You ain't old, you just better. Get better.
So
have sex.
All right, now
a lot of sex.
wait. So for married people, if you're I know a lot of times if you're stressed, then people say if you have sex, it's a stress reliever.
Yes,
so
yes,
what
yes,
do you recommend for single people? I'm just saying.
Find a hobby. Feelings don't ask permission. Find a hobby.
See?
I'm talking about
because it ain't fair, right? I mean, single people need love too. Like, they need. You can't only talk to the
You're absolutely right. Now let me say this, but so you know what I believe. I believe that
what?
Of course, the perfect way would be wait for your husband or your wife. Now I didn't do that, but depending on where you are in your life. You're trying to live this. Abstinence is the best. The reason why I love abstinence is because it allows you to make decisions with a clear mind.
Right.
When you are having sex, you're supposed to like sex. Don't let nobody tell you ain't. It's supposed to be good. When you're having sex and it's good to you and you are not married, it clouds your judgment. Then now, this is where it get crazy. Because I'm going to charge you $50 to $100 an hour to work out your issues that you have just because you got good sex. So you got to figure that out. You got to have a good heart. When we got in church, before we got married, we were going abstinent. We were trying not to have sex.
It didn't work.
I mean,
it did. I mean, we really tried. Though.
No, but we didn't throw in the towel. We would mess up. Absolutely.
Be transparent, brother.
No, I am transparent. We absolutely would mess up, but that's why I know it'll cloud your judgment.
Yeah.
And then when you get done, you like, I shouldn't have did that.
I never thought that. All right.
Chafin says the thrill is gone.
The politically correct thing to say is.
Yeah, absolutely. No, this is what I think. This is what I believe. I believe that if you're a believer, you should do whatever you need to do to abstain from having sex, premarital sex. Now, the truth is, we got people on here, if they don't profess to be a believer, they do what they want. I mean, but it's up to you and your relationship. But what I'm saying, not even just from a spiritual aspect, you don't make good decisions when you having sex with somebody who you are attaching yourself to somebody. You making a permanent decision from a temporary place in your life. Mm-hmm. So that is very dangerous to me. So I understand why abstinence is the key. Now, in this day and age, that sounds crazy because...
But what about young people who say, well, I'm not going to go all the way. Look, we in a whole different conversation now.
I like it. Keep it going. Can we get 2 more minutes?
Sound text. Can we get
sound text? Can we get 2 more minutes? Because we about to talk about sex, baby.
All right. What about young people who say, well, I'm not going to have sex, but I'm going to do everything else? Because they don't consider that sex.
But it's sex. It's still, if it's just oral sex, it's still sex. And it's still a gateway, and it's what it is. I mean, that's just how I view it. Now, this is my thing. Say if you're trying not to have sex, right? You follow me? Say you're trying not to have sex.
Single people have a routine that makes you
tired. Workout? Yeah, work out. Yeah, go work out. Absolutely. Absolutely, Reverend. Go work out. Go work out and work some of that stuff off. You ain't got to have sex. Now listen to this. Now, confession is good for the absolutely.
When you work out, though, it make you feel sexy.
Yeah, but just keep feeling sexy till that your knight in shining armor come.
But
now,
having sex, you will burn 1,000 calories.
You absolutely will, and your mind will be jacked up. Listen, you will burn 1,000 calories, but your mind will be twisted 1,000 ways. Let's just be 100. Sex is good in the middle of it, but listen, when me and my wife come together and we have intercourse, I'm waking up to her the next day. Right. So I don't mind being tangled up with my wife. But I think in this day and age, you doing yourself a disservice to get tangled up. Man, listen, it's so much stuff going on out here now. No, but let me ask you a question.
The whole city of Detroit is HIV positive.
Man, the numbers is ridiculous. So, man, let me give you what you just asked for. You just asked me. You just said, what did you just say?
What?
You just asked me something before we went to. Oh, oral sex. Sex is sex. Listen, I teach young people this. You do not lose the battle, because this how we used to do it, and it was bad. I know that if I go over Angel House, something gonna happen. We ain't trying to do nothing because we...
Wait, what year? What year you
We've been together for a long time. I don't know. We wasn't married. Now, we will trick ourselves and say, I'm going to go over there and I ain't going to do nothing. I ain't going to do nothing. Knowing that when you get over there, you ain't going to stop nothing either.
Well, you was thinking you wasn't going to do nothing.
That's how I trick myself. I'm like, I'm going to go over there and I ain't going to do nothing. I ain't going to do nothing. But I'm on fire. Like, right?
Hey, that was Netflix and chill before
absolutely
Netflix was invented.
Now watch this. You actually lose the battle when you decide to go. The battle ain't having sex or not. The battle is when you say, I'm going to go. That's where the battle is lost. Because you ain't strong enough to withstand from somebody who you want to get in the bed with.
Why are you looking at me like that?
We married now, girl. We's married now. So yeah, man, I think I'm against it 100. I know people do it. I mean, we ain't crazy, and we pretty relatable. Yeah, we know people do it, but
it's messed up because people go through church. People who grow up in the church. Yeah. And they hear how bad sex is their whole life.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Don't have sex. Then when they get married and it's been beaten to them all this time not to have sex, now they can't enjoy having sex.
Right. Because in the back of your mind, you think you're doing something wrong. They telling you, now go have sex. When we should be teaching people, it ain't nothing wrong with sex. Sex was made by God. It's pleasurable. It feels great.
And then I think that's what leads into I think more people in church are addicted to porn, or have all these different things because they need an outlet, and then it's like they feel like the things that they're fantasizing about or whatever they can't do that thing or be that thing with their spouse,
right?
Because they think that it looks so dirty. Or
we're talking about married people.
I'm talking about married people who feel like I have to go sneak off and watch porn or or have an affair with somebody. Because I can't do these things with my wife.
Listen, I always wondered about this. Listen to this. I always wondered, how is it that you have these stand-up gentlemen that sneak away with prostitutes? Right. And then I was talking to a guy one day. Listen to what he told me. He said, that prostitute will do things my wife won't do to me. I said, well, did you talk to her about it? No. We're so conditioned that all of these things are bad, that we won't try new things. Mm-hmm. So in our marriage counseling, we talk about, you got to spice that thing up.
Right. You want your husband to fantasize about you. Not him feeling like he can't come to you for them things.
Come on.
That he has to go to a prostitute or anybody else.
Yes.
But that's a big part of, that's what part of why we say it's not Christian marriage counseling that we do. We do marriage counseling, marriage enhancement, and we're talking about just real life things. It's not just love your wife as
absolutely
God loved the church.
And then this is the thing right here, and when we about to be done, because I got one more and we'll be done. When people say love your wife as Christ loved the church, that means I got to figure out what you think about Christ and what he think about his church. Mm-hmm. If you've been taught hellfire, brimstone, and that's it your whole life, and then somebody come up to you and say love your wife like Christ loved the church, you think of hellfire and brimstone.
Right.
So we know it's more to that. So what I'm saying is, even in that, we have to figure out how to have these conversations and do these things. We're way over. Let's go to the last one. You may experience emotional or mental health issues. Some people grow apart, watch this, because there's something going on in their psyche that they need help with. Go talk to somebody. We know that Jesus is the great physician, but he ain't the only physician. He got other physicians. And sometimes you need to go talk to somebody who he blessed you with to get stuff off your chest. Somebody say, amen.
And
say amen. Say amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Jesus.
Mental illness is a real thing.
It's a real thing.
And some of them, they don't develop until later in age.
Yep.
So you might have fell in love with somebody younger, but certain things, they do happen at a later age.
Right.
Where you might need medication or,
Yep.
you need to really go to a doctor.
Absolutely. You got anything over there, or we can... What?
No.
We
I mean, I'm just... My final thought, couples do grow apart. It's possible to grow apart, but it didn't just happen.
And listen, y'all, I'm going to be 100 with you, because y'all know we pastors. We got to stop blaming stuff on the devil. The devil didn't make you grow apart in your relationship. Your fantasy to have things so much more than a relationship made you grow apart. Some of y'all put more focus in church than you do in your spouse. And your first ministry is your home. Mm-hmm. So we blame the devil for stuff. That's why we're talking about growing apart. It's nothing worse than seeing people preach and save souls and save relationships and save people and help Jesus build the kingdom, and then go home and you don't even hug your own wife.
Can we give an assignment to our married people today?
Married people, absolutely. Y'all want an assignment?
All my married people out there listening, men and women, what I want y'all to do, find time. Today's Thursday.
Yeah.
By next Thursday, before our next Marriage Matters, find time. Do something spontaneous with your spouse.
Do something spontaneous.
Do something different that you've never done before.
And don't ask them about it. Just do it.
Just do it. Just surprise them. And have a real conversation. If you haven't had one, if y'all just kind of been in that kind of business routine, we go take the kids here and do this, do that, kind of that same routine. Try to change it up. That's your assignment. Yep. Let us know how it went. And
let me say this, y'all. Let me say this. And then we gon' wind it down here. Let me say this.
Hey, this assignment for you too.
No, I accept. Now let me say this. Because your relationship is not terrible or horrible doesn't mean you don't have work to do. Mm-mm. My wife and I came back from about to get a divorce, not because we got a revelation from an angel at night. It's because we chose each other, mm-hmm. and we said, we're going to work through this because we know we got God. Now let's figure out each other. You have to put that work in.
When I remember when we way back before we were even married.
You better say way back.
This during the I guess still like the puppy dog love.
Aww.
And we used to always say, I won't let you hit the ground if I'm
falling myself.
And
sometimes,
that's a
Jay-Z line.
Even when we go through all that stuff, I always have to take myself back to that.
Yeah,
that feeling how we felt back then, like when it was like us against the world, and no matter what, I'm not going to let you hit the ground.
Yeah.
And then life happened. And
I
think we had, so even to this day, whenever we're going through whatever we're going through, I have to take myself back and just remind myself of that feeling and to get myself back there.
Me too. And listen, y'all, we want to be an example. It's okay to have these conversations. This is the problem that when we sit down with people in marriage counseling, it's just a conversation that need to be had. My wife just said, listen to this. Sometimes I have to remember that to get my mind right.
Yep.
I'm not mad at her because I understand as a human, life is going to try to pull us apart. I have to do that sometimes. Sometimes when I feel like I'm like, man, what are we doing? Man, I think about that same thing. I'll put that song on. And she used to always be like, I won't let you hit the ground if I'm falling myself. And when she went into surgery and she was having brain surgery, that's what I was thinking. I won't let you hit the ground if I'm falling myself. So no matter what I'm going through, I'm going to be there for you. And she said, no matter what she's going through, she's going to be there for me. So that's what it means. So we got to find time to build the relationship. I believe, watch this, and this is why we say we don't necessarily do Christian counseling. We just do counseling because the divorce rate is the same in the church as it is out.
The church.
The number of happy marriages is the same in the church as it is out. So there's somebody that's may not be in the church like you, but their grandmother taught them biblical principles. They're using it, and God is honoring the principles. See, we think that God don't honor principles. He honors principles. So if it's a man out there, he may not be a preacher, but he's putting his family first, and God is honoring that. So we trying to mix it up with everybody. Y'all got me?
Choose each other.
Choose each other.
Make an effort. Choose each other.
Choose each other.
When our kids are around, what we call it is painting pictures. That's our our
we
word
got that from Jermaine.
Jermaine, squeegee. So whenever, like, if you and your spouse need to have that alone time, we call it painting pictures. So all y'all married people, go paint some pictures.
Go paint some pictures, man. Go love your spouse, man. Love on your spouse now. Have a conversation that you didn't have. It's somebody on here right now, and I'm done. We're done right here. There's somebody on here right now. You and your spouse, y'all don't hate each other, but y'all mad at each other. But neither one of y'all will say it, but y'all both know it. Go talk to them right now. Say, look, baby, I apologize. I was a little angry with you, but I need some alone time with you because I'm not mad at you. I'm just frustrated that we can't be together right now.
And then my brother, church, True Worship, they always say
baking cookies.
No, they say today is a good day to start
over.
So y'all, today is a good day to start over.
Start over. Go start over.
Start over.
Now. All right, we done. You got something?
Done.
All right, let me say this. Thank you to the people that donated the microphones. We thank you for that. We had somebody call. They want to design us some clothes to wear. If you want to send us something, send us whatever. We'll put it on the table. We'll wear it. It don't matter. We got our cups.
Our
personalized cups. Send us food. We love food. We'll put it right here and eat it during the show.
Oh, yeah. We got Chef Woody. We just ate. Woody. She made us some lasagna.
Yes. Chef Brittany Woody made us dinner today.
Yeah, we had chicken,
lasagna, spaghetti,
Caesar salad.
So we thank God for Chef Woody. If you want to send something, if you want us to highlight something, marriagemattersteam@gmail.com. Marriagemattersteam@gmail.com.
Yeah. And don't forget the barbershop. What is it called? The beauty.
We're going to do a barbershop and the beauty. We didn't even name it yet.
I know. I forgot what it's called.
Yeah, we'll tell y'all when we do.
But so basically what we're doing is we're going to do our show live from a barbershop and from a beauty salon.
Yes.
So that we can chime in on what men really think about whatever they think about, whatever they talk about in the barbershop. My husband get mad at me because I always say, why you ain't get your hair done?
I don't get my hair done. I get it cut.
Like,
stop saying that.
I don't get my hair done.
I don't. I get it cut.
Same thing. So then we go. So if you know somebody, or if you are if you have a salon, a beauty salon or a barbershop, and you want us to come, we'll bring all our equipment and we'll have.
So we'll have men talk at the barbershop, women talk at the beauty salon, and then we'll bring some representatives from both to have a podcast about what we're talking about. So Cheria says she'll send some cookies. Cheria, have those cookies over here Thursday. We gonna set them right here.
Man, she put crack in them cookies.
She do put crack in them cookies.
Like them literally.
Some crack cookies.
You know, people
boy.
say you can't just eat one. You can't just eat like 24.
Bet you bite a chip.
I just keep going till the bag empty.
Them cookies is crack filled cookies. Absolutely. So marriagemattersteam@gmail.com. Marriage Matters Vegas trip is coming in October. If you can come for a few days, send us an email at marriagemattersteam@gmail.com. We want you to come. We're only doing sessions Tuesday and Wednesday. And then I don't want to see anybody. I'm going to spend some time with her for the rest of the days. We're going to do some stuff new. We're going to paint a whole art gallery. Every time we come back from Vegas, we come with a baby. Somebody say, Amen. Oh, Chafin said that it's sacred. The barbershop, no women allowed.
Man, Chafin, I hate going to the barbershop. He'd be like, come on, just come with me.
Chafin, like, no. You know Eddie, you know your sister Eddie Ladd, Chafin. She'd be like, what y'all doing in there? I want to come.
No, I don't. Yes, I'd be like, can I sit in the car? I hate going to the barbershop.
Whatever.
Because I don't know what y'all be talking about. It makes no sense.
Yeah, we love it, though. Man, we thank you for watching. We'll be back here at 9 o'clock next week. Thursday. If you want us to highlight you, send us something. You want us to highlight you, send us something, and we'll definitely give a shout out because we believe in giving. Share this. Please share this with on your Facebook page. Go to our YouTube page, subscribe. Go to SoundCloud, subscribe. Go to iTunes and look up Marriage Matters with the Mares. This is just bringing conversation back. We're not telling you what to do. We're just having a conversation about what we think will work in some issues that we have. So we're done.
Are we done? I know we about to end Facebook. Are we still?
Yeah, we gonna end it all.
We ended it all.
Yeah, but we gonna end it all. We usually put the rest on SoundCloud.
So we went over today.
But we went over. We gonna end it all. But we gonna end with a video. Please don't drop off. Watch this video. And we love you guys. And we'll holler till next time. Marriage Matters.
We out.
just found the one you want to spend your whole life with? Thinking of whether to get married or not? Or already married and want to rekindle the flame? Well, that's great, because we can help you. Here, we, Dwayne and Angel Merritt, have been together for 20 years and have been through a lot of life experiences with each other. Come and meet us live on Facebook at Marriage Matters with the Merritts every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Or you can listen to us on Sound C, Loud, or iTunes too. We will be happy to help you take your first steps towards a beautiful married life. We will be sharing our experiences and talking about everything that matters to your marriage, offering a retreat for couples who want to improve or repair their relationship, but don't know how to. So every Thursday, 9 p.m., tune up your marriage by tuning in to our Marriage Matters podcast. Don't forget, it's every Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. See you soon.